As usual, the next day, Maya and I got to school early, still poking fun at each other for our moment the night before. But as we approached Poppy Hall, I noticed something felt different. A palpable tension hung in the air. It was almost humid. Man, what is up with everyone?
I don't know.
Is there a test today? Not that I know of, but as we entered the building and turned the corner, it suddenly made sense. Jared and Paul were arguing amidst a large crowd, spit flying from their mouths, while Nick and Josh walked along the hallway pasting posters of Paul's face over Jared's modeling shots. I thought I told you to stop and take those posters down. No, what's wrong with you? These walls are everybody's space. We don't have to listen to you. And you should know that this campaign is way more important than your little fashion show. But mine were here first. Lay off them. This is between you and me, Jared. Leave them out of it. You've been taking up the wall space with your show. The student elections are much more important. It's our government. The student government doesn't even do anything. Whoa, whoa, whoa! As current president, I can say with full knowledge and proper authority that the student government does a ton for the school. You don't even know, Jared. You don't even know. Mai, what does the student government actually... Mai? She wasn't with me anymore. She had pried herself between Jared and Paul and was pushing them apart. I ran forward to help her. You guys should stop.
Hana!
I flinched. Sorry, Hana. I didn't mean to yell. We wanted your opinion on something. You're a regular student, a new student. You're uninvolved. Which do you think is more important, our student government or the fashion show? Oh no! I don't want to choose! Oh god, this is horrible. I don't want to choose. I can't choose. They both let out a heavy sigh. Aww. That doesn't help us. It was amazing they even cared what I thought. Hana's usually right about these things. You should listen to her. Mai patted me on the back. I jumped. I forgot she was there. Jared looked at Mai, raising an eyebrow. Are you sure, Mai? Don't you have your own opinion? Why did he bother to ask? Well, if I'm being honest, I care more about the fashion show. I go to the elections because I have to, but I go to the show because I want to, plus it raises a lot of money for the school. Thank you. He gestured dramatically at Mai, as if her opinion sealed the deal. That's because we made it a fundraiser. The 5-minute bell. Class was about to start. Jared nodded to us and walked away. Paul opened his mouth as if to say something more, but evidently thought better of it. He headed after Jared with Nick and Josh, thanking them for their help. Being a year ahead of us, their classes would be on the next floor. Mai began to follow them, but I gently pulled her arm. Our classroom was the other way.
Oh,
Jared, if you need any help with the show, I'm here. Her yell echoed through the emptying hallway. Jared, without looking back, raised a hand in acknowledgement. Mai covered her mouth and emitted a skull-piercing squeal. Wincing, I dragged her into the classroom. After the drama that morning, I wasn't sure what to expect at lunch. I dawdled on my own, making up an excuse about copying notes, hoping whatever tension remained would dissipate while I was gone. When I got to the cafeteria, it seemed my plan succeeded.
Hana!
We saved a spot for you! Get over here! Mai sat at the Normal Boots Club table looking like she completely belonged. She waved for me to join her. I sat down next to her at the edge of the table. Josh was across from me. We made eye contact as I sat down, so I nodded slightly to him. He nodded back. I felt accepted. Hey, Hana, how was class?
Hey!
Good, thanks. PBG might have already told you, but we're working together on a project. It's going pretty well. I'm doing the Is that Gerard back there? In a shy moment of not wanting to look Nick in the eye, I glanced to the side and saw Gerard in the back of the cafeteria with someone I didn't know. Everyone turned to look. He's probably doing some trading. Satch waved a hand. So I borrowed a new drawing tablet for the other day, hoping I could use it to make plans for my machine. Satch changed the subject and everyone started talking about that. I, however, kept my concentration on Gerard, who was holding a small figure. Same with the girl he was talking to. Were those what they were trading? Those are itty-bitty kitties. They're really popular right now. I'm surprised you don't recognize them. They're kitty figures of all different shapes and colors. I have a few myself. You know me. I'm hip to know about these things. They're pretty cute, but kind of a little girl thing. She shrugged. Gerard is known as the completionist around here, and every time a new thing gets popular, he collects them all. I've never seen his collections, but I heard they're really impressive. You have to be a dedicated person to do something like that. The completionist? Was that why he was so thorough when giving me a tour? IBK is the thing right now, and last year too. I think in the first year there were a lot of people collecting silly slimy snakes, but that got old fast. Teachers didn't like everything coated in a thin layer of slime. I still have one in our room. I can show you sometime. Jared tapped Mai on the shoulder and she whirled around, hitting me in the face with her hair. Yes? I wanted to thank you for this morning. Oh, no, it was nothing. Definitely. I mean it. As Jared and I spoke, my eyes went back to Gerard's exchange. The girl pulled a second figure out of her backpack and held both of them up. Gerard inspected it and shook his head. She pulled another one out, sadly this time, and Gerard's face lit up. He held out his figure and they swapped. How bittersweet, letting go of something you loved to get something you would potentially love more. What do you think, Hana? My attention was pulled away. I hadn't been listening to the conversation. Huh? Yes or no? Yes? Interesting. Mai gave me a skeptical glance, then turned away. I bowed my head in apology and took one last quick look at the intriguing trade happening. The girl left, and Gerard was now talking to a boy with messy appearance who made exaggerated hand motions. It looked like he just got out of bed. Was this another trade?
All right.
So, official announcement in case you haven't heard, we're having a competition tomorrow. Just a little casual something to get us ready for the tournament.
Yeah.
Finally! We've been planning this one since last year's. My attention snapped back to the conversation happening in front of me. Was this what PVG was talking about yesterday? Hana, Mai, you're invited to come if you'd like. Either way is fine, but let me know so I can plan. How does it work? Here's a little thing. It's a little thing. Some lighthearted fun to start off the new year. Lighthearted fun my ass. John almost broke Satch's nose last year and Gerard twisted his ankle. Satch delicately raised a hand to his nose.
No.
It was an accident. You forgot the part where you almost passed out from blood loss, Shane. I didn't forget. He looked away. I can never forget. I don't know about this. I'm not very good at video games.
Yeah.
Sure you are. Jared will come. Awesome. I'll plan for you to be there. Don't worry, Hana. It's actually fun. You probably won't get hurt. As much as I was afraid of possibly losing a limb, I really did want to go. I was glad Mai was there to force me into it. Without her, I'd probably be lonely transfer, probably eating grass by myself at this very moment. Yeah, sounds fun. Thanks for inviting us. Of course. It would be rude to have you sit with us at lunch and then ban you from our tournament. Plus, it'll be nice to have some new competition. I look forward to winning. The rest of lunch passed by comparatively uneventfully, or at least if anything else happened, I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at the food in front of me, joy and horror mixing in my stomach. There was no way I was going to beat even one of these normal boots guys. I would make a fool of myself. But still, I was getting to go. It was a privilege nobody else shared. Paul looked at me with what seemed like concern, and I smiled at him. He grinned and returned to his food. The least I could do was give it a chance, right? After a long day, class was finally over and I was ready to go home. Miss Shizuka still wasn't over her breakup, and Mai complained loudly that she needed a new man so the homework would stop being so killer. It was something to do though, but what else would I be doing if not homework? Studying, probably.
Hana!
Before you go back to the dorms, there's something in A32 that I want to show you. Come, come! A32? Wasn't that the Normal Boots club room? We're not allowed in there. There's no meeting today, so no one's going to be there either. That's exactly why we need to go now. Mai grabbed my hand and dragged me through the halls. Mai, I don't know about this. What if someone sees us? You act natural. No one will care. There's too many people around. Nobody will be interested in what we're doing. Mai was full of confidence that I wish I shared. I really don't think I'm comfortable with this. Mai stopped at the clubroom door, gently tugging on it.
Yes!
Sweet, they left it open. She pulled me into the clubroom and shut the door behind us. It's in here. Here was a storage closet at the very back of the room, a plain white cabinet. She stopped short of the door, looking expectantly at me. I tugged the knob, expecting it to be locked, like all the storage closets were. The knob didn't move, confirming my suspicion. Relief swept through me. Well, darn, looks like it's locked. I guess whatever you have to show me will have to wait till another day, or maybe never. Oh, I know it's locked. That's why I had these. She pulled out a shiny chain of keys from her pocket, eyes sparkling.
What?
Shizuka's keys? Who gave you those? No one. I'm borrowing them for a little bit. No harm done. She fiddled with the door handle, going through key after key. Mai, I'm seriously uncomfortable with this. Someone is bound to find out. They always do. Finally, there was a small click and the lock relented. Don't worry, Hana. I'll protect you. Mai opened the closet and a light shone down directly onto its contents.
Yes!
There they are! There they are! To my utter bewilderment, there sat luminescent golden boots resting on a velvet pillow encased in a glass box. What are these? I stepped closer to the case and was about to put my hand on the glass, but stopped inches before, wrought with guilt. We shouldn't be here. These, Hana, are the boots. The boots. It's the symbol of the Normal Boots Club. This is their club room after all. I'm telling you, these guys don't mess around. Is it made of real gold? Is it made of gold? Real gold? It must have cost a fortune. I'd say they're solid gold, only worth 100,000 yen or so, but to really make sure... Mai's fingers wiggled in front of her face. Before I could stop her, she opened the glass case and lifted the boots from the velvet pillow they rested on. Mai, please be careful. I grabbed the boots from underneath just in case she dropped them. Good thing too, because they were heavy. The gold was cool and hard to touch. These boots were definitely not wearable, and anything but normal. Mai bounced them up and down, weighing them in her hands. Her arms flexed as she did so, and I suddenly realized why her pats on the back hurt so much. Volleyball made her strong.
Bingo.
Yeah, definitely solid gold. Mimi lied to me. She said they were gold-plated. I didn't believe her, so I had to check. So you dragged me along instead of her? The display of wealth made my stomach turn. Where they saw a symbol, I saw months of food for my father and I, 100,000 yen just lying in a closet, protected by a single poorly guarded key. It might not be a big deal to the students with rich parents, the majority of the academy, but it was more than disturbing to me. Yes, you. I wanted you to experience this with me. Silhouetted by the warm glow of the spotlights, Mai smiled at me. The smile almost made me feel okay being here without permission. Almost. Plus, when we get caught, we'll be okay. There's no way they can punish you. They really like you.
What?
The storeroom lights flickered on. We both turned abruptly, still holding the boots. Shane stood in the doorway. Maybe not that one. You, what are you doing here? That case is supposed to be locked. Well, it was locked. Mai,
Shane.
we're really sorry, Shane. We heard the boots were kept in here and we were curious, that's all. No harm done, right? Here, Mai, let's give the boots back to him. Yeah, I was just showing her. We aren't suspicious. You guys hide it away. How is anyone ever supposed to see it? She handed the boots to Shane, who placed them carefully back into the case, adjusting the pillow to the center.
No.
We hide it from people who aren't in the club, like you. The case clicked shut. Shane, I'm sorry. Do not come back here. Get out of my sight. But I'm containing my anger now, but your continued presence is making that even more difficult. I gulped. Mai and I dashed out the door. Shane slammed the door behind us. Do you think he's gonna tell the rest of them? I really hope not. I might have ruined my reputation with them.
Sorry.
I think you mean I might have ruined your reputation with them. She threw her head back and laughed, not quite grasping the consequences of her actions. You'll be fine. I'll even be fine. They're students just like us. It's not like we stole it. But Shane, he was really angry. That's just an act. Don't worry about it, Hana. I said I'd protect you, right? Her words seemed genuine enough, but I had a hard time believing her. It was almost as if she planned for us to get caught. Okay. Good. Now let's head back to the dorms. That competition is tomorrow and I do not plan on losing due to lack of sleep. The tournament! I completely forgot. Would they even let us participate considering what we just did? Mai hummed happily as she skipped down the hall, somehow impervious to my anxieties. Heart heavy, I followed her. Only time would tell. Saturday dawned bright and harsh. The cloudy light outside mirrored my gloomy mood as I quickly dressed and woke up Mai.
Hey!
Mai, it's time to get up. Why? The video game competition, remember? We're playing Stupendous Stomping Sisters today. Mai shot up straight out of her bed. Oh my god, Jared! I can hang out with Jared today! She catapulted from the top of her bunk bed and sprinted out into the hallway. I heard crashes and shrieks as she massacred the other girls to get into the bathroom. The sun slowly rose through the window. Everything would be just fine, right? Soon Mai returned, fully dressed and raring to go. Come on, Hana, let's go! She grabbed my hand and dragged me out to the campus commons. Her incessant tugging hurt, but I followed her silently. Even more strangely, she wasn't talking either. Our nerves had gotten the better of us both. We wandered down the halls of the boys' dorm, making our way to 402. The dormitory itself smelled awful, like stale Dorito chips. I wondered how I had never noticed it and realized this was the first time I came in on a weekend. Rather than wandering campus all day for classes and clubs, most people were sleeping in or hanging out in their rooms. Mai slowed down as we climbed the stairs, staring at the floor. The closer we got, the slower we progressed. We opened the door to the 4th floor and crossed the hall. Finally, we stood in front of John and PBG's door. You should knock.
What?
Me? You should knock. You got here first. Yeah, but you're their friend. Well, you know them better. But you've got pink hair. Is there a problem, ladies? We both froze. Scents of ham wafted through the air.
Oh, Jared.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Is there something wrong with the door? Oh, no, we didn't want to wake them up in case they were still sleeping. I don't think they'd mind having you wake them up. Mai's eyes almost rolled into the back of her head. Here, allow me. He leaned between us and tapped on the door. He was surprisingly tall, and being some 10 inches shorter than him, he towered over me. He looked down at me and winked. The door flew open.
Hey.
Hey guys, glad you could make it. We'll be a bit squished in here, but it's better than nothing. What, we couldn't get the classroom this year? I jumped. Shane stood behind me, expressionless. I hadn't even seen him come. Yeah, turns out Hidden Block decided to book it for the same day. Wonder what for? John snorted somewhere in the background. I'm not sure your room is better than nothing. Oh, Shane with the zingers. That wasn't a zinger. Are you just gonna stand outside or are you coming in? We stepped through the threshold, fully and completely entering PBG and John's room. Boy territory, we were out of our element. Maya had never been in the room before, and she glanced at the walls, shelves, and desks like a manic squirrel. Her eyes gleamed, and I had a sneaking suspicion she was making note of what she saw for her own nefarious purposes, though what they were, I had no idea. Rather, I didn't want to know.
What's up?
Go on, take a seat anywhere. I looked to my left and saw boxers lying on a desk chair, blood shot into my face. Were they used? PBG followed my gaze and turned red. Let me clean up a bit. Pigsty. Do they have pigsties in England? Everything in America is a derivative of England. But we're in Japan. Shane looked at me blankly. Man, we're so lucky the Wii U has 8-player Stomp. I'm excited to crush you, Shane.
John sucks.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey.
Hello, guess who's here? Gerard entered without knocking, a bright smile on his face.
Hold on.
Aw man, Shane got here before me? Did you fail to see me leave?
Yeah, whatever.
I was hoping you were in the bathroom or something. We brought extra controllers. Does nobody knock around here? No, why would we? To be polite? Pfft, girls and their ridiculous social constructs. What? An intricate knock clattered through the entryway, and I pointed towards the door in defiance. See? Someone knocks.
Morning.
Hello, I brought bagels. Figured we didn't want to repeat of last year. My stomach grumbled, and she turned red. That's what I thought. That's my husband.
What?
You're perfect.
You're the best partner anybody could ask for. You're truly the best of us. Can't you just ask for one normally? I brought enough for everyone. Jared leaned his head against Satch's shoulder, then turned to whisper into his ear. I knew I could trust you. Okay, well then, everybody pick a place to seat. We'll hand out bagels and then we'll get started. I scuttled to the side of the room against PBG's bed and next to Mai. We'd been sitting with them at lunch, but it wasn't until now that I realized how crazy having all the normal boots guys in one room could be. 9 adolescent men in one room. Not to mention all friends, all part of the same club. Their personalities mingled in different ways, and I almost couldn't focus over the myriad of inside jokes, shouting voices, and flailing limbs. That is, until the character selection screen came on. In the blink of an eye, the controllers were gone. PBG glanced over at me and noticing that I didn't have one, offered me his. No, really, I'm not good at these kinds of games. There's no way you're worse than me, or Jimmy for that matter. Seeing as he didn't want to take no for an answer, I grabbed the controller and selected my character. Turby. He was cute and bouncy. Even though he didn't seem super powerful, he looked like an easy enough character for a beginner to grasp. Although there was something in the eye and beak that seemed a little... Is everybody ready? Oh shit, sorry, I didn't mean to skip that. Turby was cute and bouncy. Oh, okay, it's just gonna go through this again. I swallowed hard, the controller already slippery from my sweat. I never played Stomp before, though I watched others do so. I looked at the buttons on the controller, trying to guess at what buttons did what. On one of the top buttons probably jumped. Obviously, the analog stick moved the character. They selected a stage, something with cute little houses and smallish animals bopping around in the background, and the countdown began. There were buttons on the back that clicked when you hit them, but I didn't know what they did. 3. Oh, there was a weird blue button on the top right, but not the top left. 2. And another analog stick? What was that for? The camera? How could we all control the camera at once? 1. Oh no. Go! What the hell? Attack everyone, not just me. But you're my mortal enemy. Josh, what the hell was that for? I wasn't even fighting you. You were wide open and death waits for no one. You're next. The battle began, and in a display of slight mercy, the boys left me alone to wander the field and get a sense of my character. Oh, that does jump. I hit the jump button again and again and again, watching my character float higher and higher toward the sky.
Yeah.
I can fly! My joy was cut short as a Noke ball emerged from nowhere and pegged my pink blob on the eye. I fell off the side of the screen, and despite trying to jump back up, it wouldn't let me. Why? Turby can kind of hover for a while, but eventually he gets too full of air and has to land, otherwise he'd be OP. Oh. When in doubt, down B. Down B? In the commotion of the match, curses and death threats mixing with lack of controllers, nobody was listening to what Nick was saying. The key to getting someone to hear you in this commotion, it seemed, was shouting their name at the beginning of your sentence. Gerard! Satch! I frowned as my pink little blob fell back onto the map. Following Nick's advice, I hit down B. A cloud appeared around my pink guy and he became a rock.
What?
I don't understand. What would a rock do? I repeated the move multiple times, turning into a rock of some sort on the ground, never hurting anybody near me. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the ground and Turby flew in the air just as I hit down B.
No!
To my surprise, he formed into a rock and fell directly onto John's head. His Naria was sent flying off the screen and died. You're on my shit list. I'm sorry. It didn't take long after that for me to die 5 pitiful, painful deaths, but as my little Turby tumbled off the screen for the 6th and final time, a surge of pride hit me. I killed John. The Jontron, even if by accident. I handed my controller to Mai and sat back completely satisfied. If it weren't for the fact that it was Mai's turn, I'd probably jump back in, eager to find other strategies for murdering my friends and potentially stirring up a hit list a mile long. So this was the joy of games. After playing a few rounds, the official tournament started. People played one-on-one matches against each other, slowly thinning out the competition over time. Mai went before me and was rather unfairly paired against Jared. Every blow he doled out to her was, in her mind, some form of actual physical contact. At least judging by the way she shivered when she was hit, it was. Unsurprisingly, she died almost immediately. I was the last person set to go against PBG. The others chuckled as we were past the controllers. Don't worry, Hana. PBG's the easiest out of all of us. You're bound to beat him. Ah, come on, guys. Don't worry, Hana. I'll go easy on you. I nodded as PBG picked the most level playing field, a small platform floating out in space. The match started, and PBG graciously held his players still. Go ahead, test your moves.
You're a great friend.
Aw, that's real nice of you, PBG. Yeah, real nice. I tested my moves, and while doing so, my hand brushed against the yellow stick. Turby did a menacing low kick, and my eyebrows raised. That looked powerful. Ready to go?
Yeah!
I think so. PBG charged at me across the screen, and when he came close enough for me to hit, I pushed the yellow stick in his direction. He flew across the screen. My mouth fell open. PBG grit his teeth. I see how it is. No more Mr. Nice Guy then. I partially doubted that PBG had a non-nice bone in his body, but the match had begun. It was a long battle, a surprisingly long battle. We seemed to be evenly matched, right up until the very end, when I smashed him off the screen with Turby's hammer. What? I set the controller down quietly, not particularly happy about having crushed PBG in my second ever match of Stomp. PBG nodded solemnly. I guess I lost then.
Whoa!
Damn, Hana, that was some natural born talent there. I don't really think so. Anyway, the next match is Shane versus Paul. PBG remained quiet for a while after that. It wasn't until the third round that he joined in again, cheering with the rest of the guys. My match rolled around, but this time I was against Jared, and this time I lost in only a few minutes. I set the controller down again, happy to no longer have responsibility over the life and death of inanimate pixels. As I did so, I saw Paul lean in to whisper something to Shane, whose eyes flew wide open. Then his face shut down. Over my dead body. Their eyes slid to me, and I looked away. They were talking about me, weren't they? I scooted over to Mai, feeling more comfortable near her than any of the other guys. We cheered for Jared right up until the very end. He lost to a supernaturally agile Shane, who was seemingly being fueled by the rage of 1,000 mnemonic toddlers. Everyone, that was a great round. It looks like we're in even better shape than last year. Well, all of us except PBG. That was uncalled for. Totally deserved. Anyway, I'm tired. Get out of my room, please. He grinned broadly, not finding anything wrong with how he summarily dismissed us. Oh my god. I've been talking for like 2.5 hours, guys. Mai and I gathered our things and left the room with the others, who, laughing and joking, dispersed in all different directions. Together we shuffled home. We fell through the doorway exhausted, with barely enough energy to change into our PJs. Mai leaped onto her bed with a happy sigh. Oh, Hana, I'm so glad you came to Asagao. As if this couldn't have happened without me here. Mai shoved her face into her pillow and emitted a muffled reply. Yeah, whatever you say. I fell into my bed, staring at the rungs that kept Mai and her mattress from collapsing onto me and smothering me to death in the night. That was really fun. Video games are fun, Mai.
Really?
She shuffled around on top of her bed. I mean, I thought it was okay. It was passable. Don't know if I'd call it super fun or anything.
Really?
No? I loved it. Seems like you found your calling. Haha, I'm sure I have. Above me, Mai yawned.
Let's just go to sleep.
Smiling, I got up and turned out our light.
Good night.
Good night, Mai.